this on. Hello, everyone. Cindy Droza here once again. And isn't this great? I haven't been on a live stream for a little while because of the sharing session 2 weeks ago. And so it's great to see all of you guys here. I love this audience. And look at this. David Perez, where is he? David Perez is here. I'm trying to find you, David, at the Oregon Woodturning Symposium. Yay! And thanks for being here. And Michael, not to overlook you, of course. And Jennifer's here, and I know I saw some people from on the other side of the ditch there. Oh, in Canada. Sandy, good to have you here. I know, we're not going to get into politics, but I think you know probably how I feel about it. Glenn, great to have you here. And John, with a little bit of snow in Alaska, imagine that. We don't expect snow from Alaska, do we? Oh, here's John, another John. Hopefully you will give us a joke or two. We always look forward to that. I knew I saw Paul in here someplace. Great to see you. Great to have you here, and great to have everyone here. Todd is here too, somewhere. I don't know if he made a comment in the chat. Oh, Tim Tucker, good to have you here. Very good. Yeah, well, everyone, I'm delighted that you're here. And if I don't get to your name, it's just because there are so many flashing by me in the chat there that I can't keep track of it all. So, yeah, this is me and my Wood Turning Tool Talk Live. And please do comment. Oh, and here is Todd. Yep. Where are you? There you are. Yep, Todd is here. He's also in the studio, so we'll hear from Todd in a little bit. I'm going to get started with things, and I'd like to do my usual little bit of an introduction of some upcoming things and stuff. And here we are in Erie, Colorado today. It's a cloudy day, but it's not going to be too particularly cold. It'll be about 52, which I think is 11 C. And so fairly nice for spring. And being that it is spring, we've got flowers already. I just love this time of year. Great stuff. I'm here on the Tool Talk live stream every 2 weeks. And so, except we'll get to that in a minute. Sometimes I do something else on the same time slot. 2 p.m. Eastern, 1800 UTC, now that we have changed our time. So I'll see you in 2 weeks. And my friend Todd, who is also here, let's see if I can get this. Oh, look at that button pressing. How about that? Hi, Todd.
Hi, Cindy. Good to have you. Good to be here, and happy to see you again. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what I've done is I've changed my live stream time to 1 p.m. So we're both Central. So we're all at the same time, or Cindy and I are at the same time every Friday. So it's going to make it easier for us to schedule things like the live streams as well as the sharing sessions. And it's going to be easier for me in the summertime because it's not going to be quite so hot as 2:30 in the afternoon. So
that's a good point.
Yeah, so there we go. So next Friday is my live stream. It'll be at 1. I'll send an announcement out, of course, and should be fun. We're going to carry on from what we started last week.
And, okay. Yeah, that should be fun. Yeah. So let's see where we are here is, why are we not getting anywhere here? Oh, I know why. I pushed the wrong button. I got so many buttons. I was going through the list today, and I could do everything automatically if I would just remember which button to push. So about every 3 months now, Todd and I do a joint Zoom sharing session, which is not a live stream. It's on Zoom. And you'll get the link if you subscribe to either of our lists. And I have, if I can get my act together here, let's see how this button pushing goes. Here we are. Oh, I still have to Command C. Okay. No, that wasn't it. Huh. Okay, how about that? No.
No.
All right, never mind.
Waiting for
I'm
a
not
QR code.
doing my
Yeah.
I'm not doing my button
Yeah.
pushing very well at all, but maybe Todd can do it. If you sign
Not
up for either
sure.
of our email lists, you'll get the Zoom link, and you can go to our websites, and there's usually a really obvious thing like a subscribe button that'll get you there, and it's a Zoom meeting, so bring your work to share, bring your questions, bring your ideas. These are tremendous sessions with lots of ideas and inspiration everywhere. It's a really cool thing. And
Yes.
here's another cool thing. Vendor Showcase is on
Yeah.
April 5th, and that's a Saturday. That'll be me and Todd and our other friends, Lyle Jameson, Joe Fleming, Steve Worcester, and we'll still be talking about John Jordan, but I don't know that Vicky's going to be there this time. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
it should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. I was thinking, and I was actually talking to Joe Fleming yesterday, and he's up in Oregon Symposium today and this weekend. So for those people up in that area, have fun at the symposium if you're going. But
Yeah.
it's too late for Joe and I to get together on a collaborative because it's only a few weeks away. But he's got some stuff in mind, and it made me start thinking about what I need to do for my contribution to the charity auction. So that'll be what I'll be working on this weekend and next week. So be excited.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yes, that's one of the things we do is we make pieces, sometimes collaborations, sometimes solo pieces, and we have them for a charity auction for the St. Jude Children's Research
Hospital.
What is it again, Todd?
I think that's close.
Okay.
St. Jude's Children's Medical Research Hospital. It's a lot of words, but it's a good,
Yeah.
good charity. So
It is, yeah. And so we're going to have lots of fun there. And let me now go to here. Yes, we're supposed to go here, and it isn't working. All right, buttons. There we are. So yeah, thank you, Todd. He's going to be here next Friday, same time, same channel. And I am moving on here to, I thought I was moving on here. There we are. I'll be doing a online intensive class as I usually do on April 12th on a mushroom box. And it's not going to look just like this one. I've got some other ideas in mind, such as using a threading jig and doing some gilding on the cap, on the rim of the mushroom cap. So that'll be lots of fun. And you can sign up there on my website. And now here is something. If you've always wanted to take a hands-on class with me and you're waiting for me to come to your club, I don't do that anymore. But I am teaching hands-on at Stu Batty's place in Boulder. So that's April 28th through May 2nd. It's a 5-day class, and we're going to make a bunch of boxes and finials, and it'll be great fun. So if I only had a QR code or a link to post, it would be lots easier. But if you can't find it by going to stuartbatty.com, you can always email me, and I'll get you all the details. Oh, I don't even have it here, but I do have my email, and there it is, Cindy@cindydrozda.com. That's me. I believe I also might have a QR code here if I could get it together, but I'm too slow with the buttons today, so I guess we're just going to say never mind. And a little while ago, I guess it was almost a month now, I did a finial box IRD. And in making the finial box, I showed a whole lot of different ways to go about it and some different designs. and it's about a 4-hour video, which is available on my website. I'm also going to do a giveaway today, and I'm going to give away 2 tickets to my videos. This one, and what have we done here? I don't have the right thing up after all. Is it? Here it is. There it is. Extra slides. Yeah. No matter how much I prep, I've always got problems. So either the finial box or the gilded sphere box. And maybe I will let you pick if you're on the stream. And if you're not, I will just pick one for you and send you the information. So the giveaway is at right before the top of the hour, right when we're about done. And I'm not going to turn on the code until then. So yay, free stuff. We love free stuff. That's cool. Yeah, and so I saw some good friends come by in here. Carly from Puerto Rico. Yay, great to have you there. And Wayne, yeah, the StreamYard link, if you are on my mailing list, you get the StreamYard link sent to your email. And Todd, maybe you can manage to post it in the chat for him. I don't have it right here, easy to post. Oh, and yes, unfortunately, 230 Todd is in the past now. He's just trying to make things easier for all of us. Oh, yes, Phil from Southwest England. Great to have you here. I love to see people from all over the place. And we know that Michael is from Canada. Thank you for being here. And what else have we got? If you have a question for me, please post it in the chat. And I'm thinking, yeah, if you want to let me know what you'd like to see me do, maybe today. I probably can't switch gears that fast, but if you have an idea of something you'd like to see me do at some point, post it in the chat and I will do my best. I usually do talk about tools or about something I'm working on. And what I've been doing lately is I've had this little thing that I was doing after the Gilded Sphere box. I went and made this sphere here and I hollowed it out, and I hollowed it using the same jam chuck that I made the sphere in, and I drilled a few holes for little feet, and I made another design of foot. The first one was just a round ball, and maybe that's good, but let's have a look here at this guy. And there it is with these kind of little fancy feet on it. So let me know what you think of that. And then the other thing I'm doing with this is I've made a lid for it. And I did this, I think, the last session. And I made a little texture on the inside. Now, this lid is fairly small in diameter. Let's see what size it actually is. It looks like about 18 or 19 millimeters, about 3/4 of an inch. And that's a small surface for texture. So what I wanted to do today is I wanted to try out some texturing tools on this small size of surface and see what I might like there. Now, the very middle, I'm probably going to put a little gemstone in there. That's why I didn't do anything right in the middle here. But yeah, I've got a few things, and I wanted to look at the texture options. Here's what the lid's going to look like on this guy. It'll get turned into a finial soon enough. So yeah, let's get started with the texturing things. So texturing tools, there are so many options out there. Let's get over here, a little more space. And I have a few of them, not everything. One of the things I've gotten together is knurling tools. This is like what a machinist would use to make a grip surface on a piece of metal. And they come in different types. This one's I don't know what you call it. It's a rough surface one. And this is just a straight across. That's just got grooves across it. Here is one. This is an actual official wood turning tool. It's made, I believe this is the Joe Wagner one. I got it from Ron Brown's Best on Amazon, and it's a little bit coarser of a coarse wheel. So this one and this one are very similar things, but different size knurling tools. Yeah. And these here that I got from a machine shop supply place, and it's made, really the steel is only as long as these set screws, and it's made to go into a tool post on a lathe, on a metal lathe. But I just put it into a regular tool handle, and that works great. And the other thing I've got that I tried last time was this Sorby miniature spiraling and texturing tool. And that was what I used last time for that texture I showed. That's this, where did it go? This texture here, but it was done with the larger wheel for this device. They come with different sizes of patterns of wheel. And I used this large one last time. I'm going to try this smaller one and see what I get. The thing about these texturing devices is that it seems like you kind of can get the same results from all of them. There are little differences, and there are so many possibilities that, oh, you could just keep trying things and trying things. So here is this Decorating Elf by Henry Taylor. And what it is a tiny little bearing in the nose of it that you can put, usually they're carbide, but probably steel ones would work too on wood. These are Dremel type carving bits, carving cutters. So this round one, or I got a couple others to try here. These didn't come with the elf. They're just things that I had for carving. And I thought, oh, let's try them. As long as it has this 1/8 inch, 3mm shank, sure. Oh, Tim says it has a magnet in the bottom of the hole. Well, I didn't know that. Okay. And here's an interesting idea, that you can use a Fordham handpiece for holding the burrs while texturing. Now that's a great idea. If you happen to have a Fordham handpiece or something similar, yeah, that would mean that you could, not just these with this 1/8 inch shank, but you could use any kind of carving cutters you have. I'm kind of limited to what will fit in this bearing because I have this tool. So yeah, cool stuff. Cool stuff. And I noticed a little while back, I haven't been talking about it yet, but I saw John post that he's going to SWAT. And where is that? Oh, John, the comedian. No, I cannot do the Macarena. Sorry. Maybe, I don't know, several decades ago, I still couldn't even do it. Anyway, so John, our resident comedian, is going to SWAT, and let's see, where is it? Oh yes, and Todd and I will both be there in the trade show. Come on. Oh, come on. There we are. Yeah, come by our booths and say hello. We'll both be in the trade show and probably do some live streaming from the trade show. And it's SWAT. If you don't know about it, it's a symposium, wood turning symposium in Waco, Texas, and it's probably the best one in, I hate to say the world, but well, it's top of my list anyhow, for fun and for a great trade show. And they have good food there. And I love hot weather, so I won't be complaining. It's great, great stuff. So yeah, come to SWAT. All right. So now what are we going to do? I want to do a little practicing. So what I've got here is I've loaded up a piece of wood here, and we're going to just use the end of this piece of wood here to do a little texturing. Get set up here too. And it's what I'm going to do first is just try some stuff and maybe show you and me too what kind of results I might get. I'm going to start with my elf. I'm going to start with this round one. And because I kind of like that one, but I didn't care much for what I got with this one, but I did like this one. So we've got several things to try. And the thing about it is if you try something on a scrap piece of wood and maybe take some notes, then you can figure out how to reproduce it later. So I'm going to start with what am I going to start with? How about the knurling tools? I faced off this piece of wood. This is just a scrap here. So I'm going to talk about the two kinds of knurling tool that I have here. They are the straight across grooves and the rough pattern on the wheels. And they do similar things and different things. So let's start with the straight across one. I'm going to make my tool rest far enough away from the wood so that that wheel isn't rubbing on the tool rest, obviously. And so you get a different pattern if the wheel is straight up and down than if it's at an angle. And I'm going to keep it at a little bit of a closed angle, not parallel to the axis of the lathe, but off just a little bit. And I'm going to go for about 1,000 or 900 RPM or so, because that seems to work pretty well. The thing that happens with these is right in the middle of the piece of wood, right in the center. The wood is going a lot slower than it is out at the rim. All right, so I'm going to start here. I'm cutting above center. Let's give it a double picture there. So I'm going to start with a little bit of an angle in both ways and right in the middle. And I'm just going to hold it on. And it's going really slow, so I got to hold it a while. And what did we get? We got a little bit of a spiral because I was holding the tool a little bit at what would you call that? Rotated a little bit. Now, if I were to do same speed, farther out from center, and I'm going to do something just holding the wheel straight on to the wood here. It's not swung and it's not rotated. And what do we get? It's not as spiraled. It's kind of more parallel lines. So we're going to go again here, and we're going to do here to show you what it's going to be like. I'm going to roll the tool, rotate, and swing it a tiny bit just because it's easier to control. And here we are. That should give me a bit more of a spiral. You see, the more you roll it, the more you get almost like a spiral. Now with that spiral, I can also move it back and forth a little bit and get, I shouldn't have done this the second time. I should have just done it that way to begin with. I get a wider pattern. So now right in the very, very middle, I'd like to try to do something even closer to center. You can see my speed readout in the upper left corner there. I'm going to up the speed a little bit. And I'm going to do a rotation. Here's what I'm going to do. I guess you can see that, can't you, if I have them both up at once? All right. So I'm going to do this, and I need to lower the tool rest a little bit, but I do want to cut above center, and I'm going to be cutting right in the middle where the wood is barely moving at all. And let's see what we got. So we got a spiral, a very tiny one, right there at the center. And I can do some different things here, but let's cut this off and see what happens doing the same sorts of things with the other tool, the other knurling tool that's a little more, see this one here, we're calling the straight across grooves, parallel grooves. And this one we're calling the coarse pattern. So then we're going to do the coarse pattern this time. But what I want to do here first is just cut off a little piece of the wood. Oh, you know how they say, make sure your common sense button, that's right there, is turned on at all times. And if you're ever doing something and it looks, sounds, or feels like things are not right, stop the lathe. And I could feel this piece of wood vibrating more than it should. So I am going to tighten up the chuck, and hopefully that'll fix things. Really good question. And please do post your questions in the chat if you have any. Can these tools only be used on end grain? No, you can use them on side grain also. I just happen to be all about doing an end of the piece pattern here for this little lid inside. So yeah, you can do them on all kinds of stuff. And yes, Wayne, good point. If you reverse the lathe, the pattern will be angled the other way. But also, if you just reverse the tool, like let's say I had the tool rotated this way, I get a spiral in one direction, not reversing the lathe, reverse or rotate the tool the other way, and we'll try that. You get the spiral go the other way. Now, what would happen if you adjust the tool, the RPM, so the speed was the same in both positions? Well, you would get a different result. And you notice that what I did was when I was doing that one in the very middle, you could see how slowly the tool was rotating. And the tool was, I had already sped it up a little bit. Sometimes you will get a different pattern at a different speed. So you'll get a different pattern at a different speed, and you might get it, you're going to be at a different speed just because you're further out from center. So, man, the possibilities are so endless, it's hard to keep track of it all. Hardwood and softwood, well, you know, the truth is it's not going to work the same on hard and soft wood. And you're going to get, in general, a more crisp pattern with hardwood and end grain than you do on soft side grain. And if the wood has hard, soft places in it like ash, it's not going to be as good either. In contrast, the chatter tool, which I am not using today, it's a different type of thing altogether, only works on end grain. And again, so many different patterns you can get with them. And so reversing the lathe does cause a different pattern. And I tried that too. I have tried that too. Reversing the lathe, you get the wood coming up. And so it's not trying to hold your tool down on the tool rest, and you can get some undesirables out of that because of that. So good point, Tim. All right, so I just wanted to cut off this little disc here, and let's see if I can manage that. Okay, tightening up the chuck. I now appear to have a more solid, better feeling parting off situation. Here is our pattern from here. So we're going to set this aside and do the same sort of thing with the other one. Now you can accentuate these patterns with color, with filling them in with stuff. Just with an oil finish will do it. So, okay, so now what we're going to do is go back to the face of the piece. And first off, you can see it's pretty rough looking. So I want to first make a cut so I have a smooth surface to work on here. Just a little cut with my bowl gouge. And that's it all the way up. It's almost 3,000 RPM. What we're going to do is go down to, I'm trying to get some scientific results here. So I'm going down to about the same speed I used before. At last pattern, I used this parallel groove knurler. This time I'm going to use the coarse pattern knurler. And I'm going to start with right near the center with the tool rotated over. Let's get this up here. I can't now remember even what all I did, but I think I did this one. And that should give me a bit of a spiral in the middle, right near the center. Usually you want to cut above center with these tools. And another thing that happens, aside from just speed, if I have the tool cutting on what is basically a smaller diameter on the wood, like right in the middle, it's going to do a different pattern than if I hold it pretty much exactly the same way and I do on a larger circle. It's kind of a, I don't know what you'd call that, a different radius of spiral. So there's the spiral, and what I did on the other one was I made my spiral a little wider by moving the tool. And now I'm going to do a straight up and down. The tool is just flat on the rest. It's not rotated over like that. And it's more or less parallel to the bed of the lathe. And we're just going to go straight in. And that's a different, notice how different that is. And here's something I like to do with this one is move it side to side because I get a little bit of an interesting stipply looking pattern. Let's get some light. Maybe you see that a little better. It's too much light. It would have been probably better had I not taken it off and went back to it. So a couple of questions here. How much pressure am I using? Not a huge amount of pressure, but enough to keep it from being pushed away from the wood. I'm trying to keep a steady pressure. I'm trying to either move the tool on purpose or not move the tool depending on what I'm trying to do. And I'm not pushing so hard that it starts chattering, and sometimes it will. I'll show the position again here. So, Ron Brown suggests 350 RPM. Okay. And thank you, Mike, for this little detail that I didn't know. Ron Brown's tool is the one I have, and it is not Joe Wagner's. That is this one here, which has got a coarser yet knurler. We're going to try that one next. So yeah, thank you, Mike. 350 RPM, huh? Maybe I should try that. All right, so here's what I did, positioning wise. The last one, the stipple pattern, I did not have the tool rolled. It was just straight up and down like this. And I just went side to side a little bit to make the pattern wider, and it also makes it a little bit more complicated. When I did the spirals, I had the tool rolled over. In all cases, I'm cutting above center. And I'm going to now do one right in the very, very middle. Okay, so Dan is asking about acorn pattern. Now, I'm not even sure what that would be, but you can definitely use these tools to get some awesome stuff on acorn caps. Absolutely cool stuff. All right, so let's go right in the very middle now and see if I can get something that I like there. I'm going to go a little slower, like 900. And I'm rolling it a little and swinging it a little so that I just get the corner in there. And I'm holding it in place long enough to actually let that cutter do a little cutting, though it's not moving very fast at all right in the middle of the wood. And it doesn't look like much here. Sometimes it's better than that. I got a very, very tiny little, almost a sort of a flower. I'm not that keen on that one. I thought it looked better with the other tool that wasn't so coarse. And okay, so Jennifer says that Sorby suggests 500 RPM. Yeah, try different speeds and see what you think. That's all I can say is different things will give you different patterns and different amounts of control. And, obviously right in the very middle, if my lathe is set to 350 RPM, it's going to be going slower than out at the rim of something. This, by the way, this piece is, we'll find out what size it is. It is, let's go over here to read it better. It is about 38 millimeters and about 7/8 of an inch. Or what is that? 5/8 of an inch. Half an inch. I'm kind of new to this one's scale. It's got inches imperial on the bottom here, and it reads on the 0 line. So that's 1.5 inches. And this reads on the 0 line up here. On the metric scale, it says 38. Okay, that's what we got. It's 1.5 inches, 38 millimeters. Now I'm going to just cut this disc off here, and we can look at them together. The two discs back up to full speed for the parting off. And then we'll do that really coarse one. So here's these two now. And Tim, thank you for the idea. spray bottle so that you can see the pattern on the camera. Thank you. I will do that. I have alcohol right near me. And yeah, let's try one where it's rotated the other way so you can see the spirals go different different directions. Yes, very good. Very good. Okay, so here now I got some alcohol, and let's start out here a little more zoomed out, and I'm going to just spray them, and you should be able to see it a little better this way. The two side by side, and let's just focus on them. So this was the straight cutter, and this is the angle, the rough cutter, and they are a little different. And yeah, I know it's kind of hard to see. Let's see if I give you a little more of an angle, that might change. But you can see especially that the stipple pattern on the coarse cutter was more of a stipple knurling look, and on the straight cutter over here, this one is more of a straight lines kind of pattern. There are so many other things I could do. Like if I took the thing and just and swung the handle more, so just the corner was getting into the wood, it's going to give you a different pattern. And then of course you can get almost the same patterns out of this Sorby tool. And I have tried that one too. So now we're going to take and face off this again and try again. And I wanted to try that coarse one. But before I do that, let's go back to our, just to be consistent on the RPMs, because if you just keep going all over the place between RPMs and patterns and how you hold the tool, you can never keep track of it. So I've got now my rough knurler here. And oh, okay, so John's got an idea that I could do to show the patterns better. Put a pencil or something over that. Oh, yeah, right. Okay, so here's the one we all really don't like the look of, but if you said you did, then you'd be in good shape. When the piece flies out of the chuck and bounces off the walls of the floor and all this stuff. Okay, so Dave, yeah, if we're talking about the Sorby spiraling and texturing tool, and that is this one. It's got this brass or bronze axle that the cutter rotates on, and there is no bearing. The big Sorby texturing and spiraling tool has a bearing in the cutters. I didn't bring that one over because I'm doing small stuff today. But just to talk about this tool, you always want the wheel turning from the rotation of the lathe in such a way that it causes this threaded axle to be loaded clockwise so that it doesn't tend to unwind. If you try to present this tool this way, not only is that thing in the way, but also it's going to try to unscrew it and everything will fall on the floor and you'll never find it again. All right. So Randy just showed up and said, yeah, you can do side grain. I'm not doing it today though. Okay, what else have we got? Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I've just faced off the front of this block, so I'm going to take the coarse knurler, and I'm going to do kind of similar things with it. And we're going to be at about the same RPM as we were. Now let's go here. Here, no, here and here, dual view. So I'm going to start with right in the middle and some spiral. And I think I want the tool rest a little lower. And I'll do right near. Now, if you look at the top view there, you'll see that this corner will touch the wood if I swing the handle too far. That'll touch the wood before the cutter does. So I can't swing the handle too far with this one. And that'll be all right. So we're probably going to get something like a spiral here in the middle. Is that what we got? We got a spiral in the middle. And now we're going to do some other things. This is straight up and down knurl pattern. Face on to the wood. And if you look at it, now we've got this really coarse wheel. And it kind of does a pattern for each row of triangle points on the wheel. I like this one better. If I move it side to side a little bit, so I'm going to get a bit of a stipple looking pattern. And yeah, I like the stipple from this one a lot. Now we're going to do a spiral on the large diameter. And one thing I can do with this is I can move it. And we'll get, with any luck, a wider spiral. And notice how the spirals iterations are so much further apart because this tool has more spacing between its cutting things. And yeah, sure, if you wanted to do more of a swing angle, you could grind these corners off, but I haven't yet. All right, so now we have some things done with this one, and let's find something that I can accentuate with. It's kind of too late for the easy way on these other ones, but this one here I can. Oh, I didn't do a very good job, did I? No, I didn't. I need something that's not this much ink on it. Let's try to get some of that ink out of there so maybe you can see. I am not the world's expert on colored texture thingies. I know Mike Peace does lots of it. And I've seen some of your very good videos, Mike. And okay, Pete, you are hitting the nail on the head here. The possibilities are so endless that it's almost hard to decide what to do next. And Nick Agar is one of the real masters of all these texturing tools. If you look up some of his videos and his channel and other people's channels, he is amazing. So Jim, the knurling tool does actually seem to cut, not just press into the wood. I'm seeing some chips flies, but yes, some of what it does is push a pattern, press a pattern into the wood. I believe it is cutting though. And that flower petal pattern in the center is wonderful. It is easier done with the Sorby than with these knurlers. In fact, the next thing I would say is the knurling tools give you a lot of possibilities, and you can buy one for not much money. But these Sorby spiraling and texturing tools with the different wheels give you more precise stuff and more precise, crisp patterns, I think. Just my opinion. All right. Now, where are we here? Um, somebody suggested gilding paste, and as it happens, I've got some. So here's something we can do. Uh, instead of complaining about how there was so much ink on this one, I could ink it all in, and uh, we can put some gilding paste in there and see if it does anything for us. The thing is that if you're going to use these paste kind of things, it works best to seal the surface first, because otherwise what you get is the paste gets into the end grain of the wood. Here's what we got here is Chroma Gilt, Nick Agar signature series. Nick is quite the guy for these textures. I highly recommend watching Nick Agar do this stuff. This one's a copper color, and we're just going to rub some of this in and see what we get on here. I think what we're going to get is it's not going to have as much contrast as one might hope, because the wood was not sealed first, and this stuff is just going to get everywhere. But we're applying a bunch of it, and then we're going to wipe most of it away. Oh, this is going to be pretty good. Yeah, that's better than I thought. And we'll turn the lathe on, and we're trying to let the gilt be in the valleys and wipe off of the edges. Oh, that came out pretty nice. Okay, so I guess it works better than I thought. Let's cut this one off and try something else. And I will also see if I can do that gilt thing on the ones I did already, so we can have a good little comparison of all of them. Here's a question, and it's a good question I don't really know the answer to. Color the wood before turning. I think you mean color the wood before texturing, and that might actually give you a great result, where you're actually cutting the texture through the color and exposing the wood. Yeah, like somebody mentioned, possibilities are endless. Permanent marker pens, yeah, and color while the lathe is turning. I've seen lots of people do that after the texture, so the pen just hits the high points. Like mine did not. Mine had too much ink in it, and it got all down in the texture. The idea would be that instead of like on this one where we've got our color on the outer parts and then the chroma gilt down in the low points, you would have wood in the low points and color on the tops. Yeah, so that's a very good possibility. A crayon or something that wasn't quite so liquidy. Yeah. Oh, and Daryl Jones is another one who's great to watch, knows how to do all kinds of stuff. I didn't realize he worked for Sorby, but yeah, come to think of it, I guess he does. Coloring the wood first. Yeah, we shall try that. If only there was more time. I'm going to run out of time on this stream here. In fact, I'm kind of out of time. The decorating elf. I wanted to get to the decorating elf. All right, so we're kind of running over time here, and I don't want to go all day. And I did want to bring out that decorating elf, because that's one thing that I have right here. Decorating elf. It gives some kind of similar patterns, but similar but different. Let's see if we can get anything good to happen either with the gilt or with our black. Now this is still, it's just got way too much ink in this pen for that technique. But what we can do is the chroma gilt technique, and then you'll be able to see more of what I had with the different wheels. Okay. You can actually see it better just with this black on it than you could without it. But I think with the chroma gilt, it's going to look quite good. Okay. Chroma gilt. Number 1. I won't be able to turn the lathe on without coming up with some more setup options here. So I'll just have to wipe it off. Maybe I'll get a larger piece of paper to do that. The little ones are handy, but I'm going to need more, I think, surface area. Okay. It's not as effective as if this was on a spinning lathe. But, you know, this was testing here. We're testing and we're learning stuff. And trying to, when I did these patterns, one of my goals with this sort of scientific experiment approach was not to just try a million different things at once and lose track of it all. I'm sort of trying the same things on with 3 different cutters. And here's what we have here with these 3 different cutters. We have the parallel grooves, the coarse pattern, small pattern, and the large pattern, coarse pattern. And so that's what we have. But let's do some elfing. We'll do a face off again. Now, the decorating elf comes with instructions. And on the instructions, it says that you're supposed to make a cove in the wood and do your texturing in a cove. And yeah, maybe that's cool, but it also works without doing that. And I'm going to lower my tool rest a little bit, and we're going to go over here. We'll give you the view. We're at about, we want to be, they said 900 to 1,000 RPM in one place. And they said 850 in another place. So that's kind of what I got here. But try different speeds. Here's my elf with the round cutter in it. And I'm going to just have the brass part on the tool rest, and I can cut above center here. It doesn't cut until you get it to a place where the wood is moving. And I can raise the handle a bit and get it in a different position. Let's see what we got here. So when I had it higher with the handle down lower, it made more of a spiral. When I had it level on the tool rest, it made more of a parallel grooves thing. Let's see what we get right in the middle. Right in the middle. So that looks pretty good. It gave me a spiral flower looking thing right in the middle, and that's pretty cool. All right, so something else I want to do with this one is moving it to see what happens with a little bit of side-to-side motion. I got a little more irregular of a pattern. The elf has some other things to it also. And one of the ones I really liked was that squared off cutter with the really coarse grooves in it. All right, so here's black, and here's chroma gilt. Copper, chroma gilt with black, a very nice combination. Yeah, that's cool. A little bit of light on the subject might help. Black is so hard to see on camera. You'll be able to see it better when I cut it off. And Tim is suggesting I use less of the filling cream. The other thing I can do is, if I've already used too much of it, and I guess I'm always a one to, when I use these fillers, I typically will fill it completely and then wipe the excess off. So that took a little of it out. And that's pretty cool looking, that decorating elf. We got one more elf pattern to do. And as you can see, I am really just scratching the surface here with these tools and their patterns. And I didn't even bring out that Sorby one yet. There's the one we just did. That's the decorating elf. Putting a very bold spiral in there. Yeah. All right. So one more face off. Lower the speed a bit. Now the elf, I'll pull that one out and put this one in. And here I need to give a little more clearance there. Here I'm going to cut with the bottom corner of it. And we got a spiral. I'm going again on the bottom corner, right near the middle. Oh, you can't see that, eh? Okay. And that it gave a really big, wide spiral. I've tried some different things with this cutter and had good results, but I'm not really getting there right at the moment. Here's what I want to do for the finale. We're going to take our knurler and move the tool rest back, and we're going to go one direction of spiral. That's too far back. That's one direction, meaning rolled in one direction. Now we're rolling the other direction. We'll see what we get. We got the spirals going that way and the spirals going that way. Because I didn't reverse the lathe, I just changed the roll of the tool. Rolled this way, gave me the outer one. rolled over this way gave me the inner one. And we could do another little, I'm going to just see what happens if we just chroma gilt. And actually, let's try this. We'll go chroma gilt without much on the paper. Oh, it filled it in anyway. Okay, we're going to have to fill it all in, I guess. And without the black, this may not look so great. I admit I wasn't really ready for all this coloring so much, because another color other than black would have really been, I think, better. I mean, the black and copper looks good, but it's kind of hard to see black on camera. So there we are, without black. Wonder what would happen if I put the black on now. That's okay. If I was making something for real, I'd probably spend more time making sure the surfaces were finished nicely and all that. Part this one off. Okay. Okay. And now we have some things to talk about. Here are our different things that we did. This is the elf with the cylindrical cutter with a coarse pattern. That's where did it go? This one. And let's see if we can get closer, and I might have to do some navigation. So that's that one. Next, we have this elf with this one. And next, we have the coarse knurler, the coarse large pattern knurler. Next, we have the coarse small pattern knurler. And this one is the parallel groove knurler. Okay, so this is good. This is good. A little bit of an experiment of things. And you know, anytime I want to try out something like this, I'm going to do some tests on scraps like this. And if I'm really going to be wanting to reproduce something, I'll take some notes about speed, cutter, rotation, and swing angle, and that kind of thing. So Duncan, I think somebody talked about using these tools in reverse. I have tried it, and it's good. You mean, I'm sure, the lathe spinning in reverse, the other direction. And yeah, I haven't really embraced that so much. What I found was I could get what I was after by rotating the tool the other way without putting the lathe in reverse. Because when the lathe's in reverse, it's not trying to bring the tool down on the tool rest, it's trying to lift it up, and it can be kind of weird. Yeah, so Oh, and Mike, we know you've done lots of this texturing stuff. So check out Mike's videos. He does some good stuff, and it is fun. It's really fun. Question about something totally different. The parting tool that I have, that thin parting tool, yes, it is going to be more stable with the cutting edge closer to the tool rest. When the cutting edge is halfway up and you're holding your parting tool here, and if it gets off axis a little bit, suddenly the cutting edge is overhanging the support if the cutting edge is up high on the tool. If the cutting edge is down at the bottom of the tool, even if you get it off axis a little, you haven't really gotten it unsupported. But I also do that so I can reach that tool into tight places. Probably more so that. If you're only going to buy one of these tools and you have all the money in the world, I can't just answer that. Are you doing large patterns or small patterns? Are you yeah, mostly large patterns or small patterns. Do you want to save money? I think the knurling tools were the lowest money investment. I don't remember about the ELF. The ELF offers you some options. The other ones really don't. But my favorite for precise patterns is those Sorby ones. And the big Sorby one, probably the most, but it doesn't do tiny patterns as well. So I'm sorry, Chuck, I can't give you a better answer than that. Depends on what you're going to do. Yeah, and so it's a mystery to me why those parting tools come sharpened like that. I wouldn't use it that way. Mike has to say also the Sorby's the most versatile. Most versatile? Well, because it comes with 3 different cutters in the one set, or 2, or maybe you can get 4. The big one, I think you can get 6 different ones, and you can do. And they come with a little carriage thing, so you can precisely adjust its roll angle and repeat it again and do some really interesting crosshatch patterns that are very precise. So, well, this is another thing. Any way to soften up Teddy's tongue oil paste? I am not the one to ask. I would email the company, Sutherland Wells, but I would use a mineral spirits perhaps to thin it, or a citrus thinner before I would heat it up. I don't think heating it up is going to do it. All right, so you know what we want to do next is a draw, a giveaway. So let's let me get that done. You've all been waiting so patiently for the free stuff. Here we are going to give away a couple of tickets to my videos. And if you're here and you want to choose between the finial box and the gilded sphere box, let's see, what can I do here? I got to get back over here again. And then we will find the 2 of them. We have a finial box, or we have, slide we didn't want, a gilded sphere box. And you type hashtag video in the comments to enter. We're going to have 2 winners. And hashtag video, it can be either lower case or uppercase, doesn't matter. If you put, I saw somebody just put finial box in there, that won't get you entered in the drawing. You get to choose at the end when I draw your name. You can choose if you're here. If you're not here, I'll just send you one. And if you're here, hopefully I'll be able to get your email address. All right, so what we're going to do is go here and put me here. Where am I? Here. Okay. And yeah, hashtag video, but not Jordan. This isn't going to get you anywhere. No, not hashtag box and no space. And yeah, Todd's keeping track of people here also. It's got to look kind of like this, hashtag video. And don't put your name in there or your choice or any of that. You it'll only register you if you have hashtag video. And yeah, this is good. It doesn't matter about the case, only the characters. All right. So, oh, Bonnie Klein is here. Yay. Bonnie Klein. Wow. Well, if you do win my video, I hope you approve. Bonnie has done some fantastic videos of her own over time. All right. So what we're going to do is I have to, oh, shoot. You're going to all have to join again. So now that I've started it, if you already entered, enter again, please, because I don't know that it was collecting them. I should have done that before I even said anything. So enter again, if you would. Enter again. We've got 106 so far. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Another entry just like the last one. And you'll be in there. I may have gotten a lot of them. I'm not really sure how that works, but I'm pretty sure I had to do this before I even said anything. And I forgot about that. I guess I could enable it earlier too. All right, we'll give you another couple of seconds. And if anyone has an actual question for me, fire away. Otherwise, we'll just do this draw, and that'll be it for me for today. Okay, so we're going to draw twice. And if you want to make a choice of which video you want, you have to get in touch with me about that. Of course, you have to get in touch with me about getting the link to it as well. So we're going to click the draw button and we'll pick a winner. So here we go. First winner, we're going to draw twice, so you have one more chance. There we go. Who is our winner today? Looks like I got entered. I don't know how that happened. If I draw myself, I'll draw again. Yay, Chuck! Well, I know I have your email address, so I'll be in touch. Congratulations, Chuck. Now we're going to draw one more time, and you can still enter, and you'll be in for the second draw. So go ahead if you haven't entered already. Enter, and I'm going to draw one more time. Here we go. Okay. Good luck, everyone. And our winner, Jordan Kitt. Well, congratulations, Jordan. Great to see you here on the stream, and congratulations on winning, Jordan and Chuck. Great. So I'll be in touch with you to get you your link to your videos. And I usually give away something like this, either a ticket to my upcoming IRD if I've got one set up, and sometimes a ticket to a video like this, or sometimes I actually have something I mail to you, but I try not to do that so much. So yeah, okay. This is going to be it for me here. And I just have to say once again, thank you so much, everyone, for joining me in this little experimentation. It was lots of fun, and I just scratched the surface with these texturing tools and what's possible. But I learned a little bit about them, and maybe got something I could have that was repeatable. And hopefully I inspired you to try some texturing. It'll be great fun. Very good. And I'll see you on the next one, which is in 2 weeks. Bye, all.